Hi gorgeous lights, welcome to an energy update for the 28th of January. I just want you to stop, pause, and incredibly congratulate yourself for your courage for being on the earth plane at this time, the courage for looking at your growth and interactions with yourself, wanting to work on your inner harmony, because I do have to tell you that you're amazing, because when we're doing and working on inner alchemy and understanding ourselves, it is not easy. We have been taught for years and years and years to avoid ourselves, and I know certainly on the journey that I've been on with all you guys, it's incredibly important for you to actually remember that you are the one that you've been searching for, and working with you will be a little bit of a roller coaster, which is what I wanted to actually talk about. And the guides have made me laugh, because even though I've said it's a refocusing year, they've shown it to me a lot like it's a roller coaster, and they have said to me repeatedly, you need to remember that in that roller coaster feeling, half of the roller coaster is like, whee, yay, we're going forward into the year and it's going to be so cool, and the other half of the people on the roller coaster are screaming in absolute terror. So I don't know if that's a really good analogy that I actually should be giving everybody, but my suggestion is just that you work with yourself really beautifully, honourably, carefully, and love you and focus on your self-care through this process as well, because it's incredibly important as the amazing being that you are. You're going to be flipping between rational mind and heart-based energy, what your soul wants you to do, soul contract with yourself, the inner alchemy to do with how you deal with your emotions. It's full on, and on top of that, you got to deal with life, and you got to deal with interactions with other people without taking it all personally and dragging that all into the forum as well. So, as I said, please stop, step back, congratulate yourself, and breathe, because it is so important that you're starting to listen to what your body has actually got to tell you, that your body is kind of leading the way and saying, you need to look after me, or you need to rest, or you need to be active. You're getting lots and lots and lots of indicators as well. And what particularly seems to be showing up in this energy is really, really highlighted as we're moving forward, particularly over the next couple of years, where your soul is saying, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to have to explain myself. I don't want to have to kind of conform. And I want to put this in a I'm going to let the guides at least talk, because she's just said that it is so important that you tread carefully and with wisdom in the changes that you're actually making as well, because I kind of get it. She's explained it this way: as human beings, we really love to have tantrums. With this childlike wonder and energy about us, but we also have the flip side, which is, the shadow parts of ourselves that kind of throw ourselves on the floor, want to have a TNT, want to take it out on everybody else, and forget that it's an evolutionary process. So there's layers in this refocus year of which you are going to sit in some of the uncomfortability of your emotions. But they also wanted to talk about that inner alchemy and your soul contract with yourself as being really, really important, because what you came in to deal with, say if you came in with threads of abandonment, rejection and betrayal, then you have to look for all the areas where you abandon, reject and betray yourself. If you came in with a soul level learning for yourself of patience and tolerance, then you have my 100% my empathy as well, because having patience and tolerance with yourself can be incredibly challenging. And there is a multitude. You might have come in to have a soul contract, to learn to have faith in yourself, to learn to trust yourself. And what we are going through in the processes that we're coming up to, Elisa's just talking about, where you have to lose faith and trust in something to regain faith and trust in your own self. Now, something that we're taught as we're growing up is that our opinion can actually be minimised by what somebody else says. And so we consciously or unconsciously seek validation from somebody else that we're on the right track. And what we also have to remember is through the other person's perspective of the way that they see the world, their opinion will be completely different from yours. And if you're buying into somebody else's opinion who's by degrees of separation only of a human body and a human perspective, will tell you their point of view from their story that they've experienced in this life and what they see going forward for themselves. Now, if you're owning what they say for you, then you're setting yourself up to be pulled along on a trajectory that doesn't quite belong to you, which will just mean that the universe, which is always working for you, will recorrect your path or guide you back by letting you have an experience that does not suit you. And it's really, really important to understand that, I have a lot of discussions with people about, is there bad things, is there good things, and when you're talking about it from a soul level, not a human perspective, a soul level, the experiences that you have are teaching you about where you might sacrifice yourself, where you might sabotage yourself, where you might betray yourself, and the universe utilises everything around you, relationships, learning, and there is work, play across the whole board as well. So there's multi-level learning that's going on in every moment and every day. And sometimes what's going on with trust at the moment and trusting your own self, there's a tremendous amount of confusion. There's a tremendous amount of the child part of us that in our growth and understanding, there was always somebody else telling us what to do, because that's what parents do. So we're all looking around for somebody else, adult here, who can kind of tell us what to do and help sort things out for us. And the buck stops with us, because it's truthfully how you feel. But you've got to really investigate that, and you've got to come down to trusting that and not worrying that, quite often people will say to me, but what if I'm getting it wrong? What if I'm making a mistake? And I'm like, you can't possibly make a mistake. There's no mistakes. There's just choices upon choices upon choices. And I think probably it's understanding a little bit for 2024 is that, yes, there'll be lots of choices. There'll be lots of stuff going on where you get to choose how you look at it, where you get to take it on board. You're trying to release responsibility right at the moment, and evolving at a rapid rate of knots. It's really, really important that you sit in the uncomfortability when you go to look at your own understanding, that you go, oh my God, actually, I don't know if I do trust myself. And then you've got to sit in there and go, but I'm the best person to make these decisions for myself. I'm seriously the best person. So it's really, really important that you've got to have some of these confronting stuff that actually goes on, and you have to surrender to understand that the universe is working for you. So whatever you choose, it's the right decision. Cut yourself some slack. There's so much perfectionism. It shows up in silver in people's auras, and I'm like, perfectionist traits are so hard because there's no perfect, there's just an experience. So particularly over, as we've had this moon come in, which is an intentions moon, and new, there's so much new going on, and wanting to step into new, really think the chapter of your life that you've had up to this period of time, for everything that it's taught you in gratitude, humility and understanding, and refocus and say, I'm focusing on me, on the now. And I don't mean that in a selfish way, because there's no selfish, there's just basically going, I need to do what also suits me without having to validate it, having to justify it, having to do anything else for everybody else concerned, because I'm allowed to turn up as me. And you can do it with kindness, compassion and wisdom if you take the time to not take it personally, that you think that you have to convince another person that you're changing what you're actually doing, or taking responsibility for another person, how they're turning up. They've got their own journey, seriously, remembering they have their own journey, and they're trying to do the very best that they can with their story, their perception as well. It's stepping back and refocusing. That's the whole purpose of this year. So hopefully you've made empathy as we're roller coastering through this. You can decide, as Ellie said, to be the person that's going wee or the person that's screaming their way through it. The choice is up to you. Take care of you. Shine on.